Hello, I'm Jez Quinn, National Account Manager at West One Loans. I'm here today to talk a bit about our proposition. So for those of you that don't know, West One Loans is part of Enra Specialist Finance. The lender within that group is West One Loans. We're split into kind of three divisions really. We've got second charge, bridging and development, which a lot of people already know us for, but buy-to-let is the newest addition to that suite. So in buy-to-let, we have a real broad proposition, lent about 219 million last year, and we're obviously going to look to build on that this year. The range itself has two general ranges, and then we have some product specific ranges which I'm going to talk to you about as well today. So we have some specialist criteria as standard that underpins everything that we do in all of our different product ranges. These are things like we don't credit score. We have bits of adverse credit that we can actually ignore, and we've got tolerances for as well. We have no minimum income. An applicant does need to have an income, but there's no minimum income requirement. As long as the income is sufficient to cover the lifestyle, we'll be fine with that. We can go up to age 80 application. We can do 4 applicants on an application as well. We don't differentiate products between limited company or personal name or LLPs, and we can look at complex SPV structures also. Furthermore, we are quite generous with our ICR requirements as well. Our standard range is our best sourcing range. This is for normal houses, flats or masonettes. What's good about the standard range is we can go up to 80% lending here, and there is a variety of different product offerings underneath the range as well. So things like there's a secondary range for a bit more adverse credit, we have some tracker options, and we actually have a 7-year fixed that only has a 5-year tie-in, which is a great option in a rate increasing environment for a client. Product guide pricing would be applicable on the standard range for portfolio landlords as well. We can go up to 20 applications or 3 million, and standard range is available for first time landlords. Then we have the specialist range. So the specialist range is the most all-encompassing range that we have. So this will be for things like HMOs and multi-units. We can go up to 6 bed or 6 units in this range. Flats above or next to commercial. So we can lend above or next to pretty much any type of commercial, so even things that traditional lenders won't touch, things like pubs, restaurants, takeaways, late night open hours, shops, hairdressers, laundrettes, that sort of thing. We do ask that it is that type of commercial for it to be referred in ahead of time, so we can get it in front of our in-house valuers, just to get comfortable with what loan to value we'll be able to go to. But it's safe to say if it was a office related commercial that we'd be fine to 75%. What we can also look at on the specialist range are hands-off corporate tenancy agreements. So this will be things like it might be a Serco agreement to house asylum seekers, or it could be a housing association for vulnerable adults, or a wide variety of charities do these sort of hands-off corporate tenancies as well. So provided the terms in the lease we're comfortable with, then we can look to assist with these sort of clients as well. What you can do is you can ping the lease in to myself or to one of my colleagues for review ahead of submitting any dips. Within the specialist range, you have the exact same mirrored different tiers of products underneath. So you've got a secondary tier for adverse, you've got tracker products, and you also have a 7-year fixed with only a 5-year tie-in. The same rules apply for portfolio landlords, where we can go up to 20 applications or 3 million from the product guide pricing as well. So then we have 3 product specific ranges that are exactly what they said on the tin. So we've got short-term lets, this is holiday lets and Airbnb. So we can even look at first-time landlords for somebody looking to do an Airbnb as their first buy-to-let property, provided they're an owner-occupier. We don't do first-time buyer. Expats, we operate almost a traffic light system. So we have, if they're in the EEA, the European Economic Area, they're fine. If they're on the FAFT grey list or blacklist, it's not going to be one for us. But outside of the EEA, as long as it's not one of the grey list or blacklist countries, we can generally be comfortable with them, provided we understand a little bit more about the client. So that has its own range. And then finally, we've got our large HMO and multi-unit product. So the specialist range goes up to 6 bed or 6 units, and the large HMO / multi-unit product picks up where that leaves off at 7 up to 10. And this is where we can start to look at things like commercial vals rather than bricks and mortar. We do ask that any of these that you're going to be submitting to us, you refer in ahead of time, just so we can make sure we're going to be comfortable lending to the loan to value that you're looking for. We want to get them in front of our in-house valuers. One of the great things that we do here at West One is we probably do about 25% of our business on a bespoke basis, bespoke pricing basis. So this will be things like large value single assets. So on our product guide pricing at present, anything over 1.5 million we can still look at, but we're going to take a view, and it will be a bespoke price. It's a large portfolio lending as well, so we'll go up to 20 applications or 3 million on our product guide pricing, and we'll be bespoke above that, but we can consider portfolios that are going to be larger than that, and we do have a really flexible approach as well. Now, for portfolio landlords, we don't stress a background portfolio, so as long as it fits at 100%, we're fine with that. We only stress the ones that are coming to us, and we don't have any arduous document requirements for portfolio landlords either, like business plans or cash flow forecasts, or assets and liabilities, not something that we ask for. Leasehold block exposure, so we don't have any exposure limits in leasehold blocks. So a lot of lenders will typically limit at 25% of the block, whereas we can go up to 100%. Again, this is bespoke pricing, but get it referred into us and we can take a view for you. Foreign nationals, another area that we can look to assist with. Very similar to expats from a criteria perspective. We will limit your loan to value to 70% for a foreign national, and the rules do apply with the countries where the applicant is living or from. So it's going to be on the FAFT grey list or blacklist and things. It's probably not going to be one for us, but elsewhere we're fine. The only difference for foreign nationals is it does need to be in a UK-based SPV that we're lending to. And then lastly, really just anything else that's outside of policy that you want to refer in for us to take a view. So for example, things like HMOs that are going to be larger than 10 beds, we can take a view on them, but again, it's going to be bespoke priced. So get in touch and give us a shout. The service is at the heart of everything that we do here. We have really quick turnaround times from things like app to offer, document review, even things like referral. So we don't ask you to dip or submit a case in order for us to review it for you. Now that could be something about bespoke pricing that we need to have a look at, but it could also be passed into our valuations team for them to have a review of it. You don't need to dip the case for us to do that. So service is really important to us. You have direct access to underwriters and each case is reviewed on its own merits. Right, thank you for listening. My contact details will be on the screen now in front of you, as well as one of our telephone business development managers, Ali Hussain. Please get yourself registered if you're not already, and that way we can keep you up to date on what is changing and what the latest information is coming out of West One. But please do get in touch if you have any cases or queries that you want us to have a look at.